Coming up on this hour, Chris 6 Sunrise, transparency at the American Bank Center. Senior Neighborhood News reporter Suzanne Stevens finds out why questions are being raised about a long-term deal with Ticketmaster.
Plus, we'll check in with neighborhood news reporter Stephanie Molina. She's out in Robstown as students there get ready for the first day of school. Also coming up on Sunrise.
This is our home, but it's also theirs. I'm Michaela Chavez in Padre Island. I'll tell you what you should look out for before heading to the beach and share one visitor's personal experience and message to others.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Chris 6 Sunrise. Thank you so much for waking up with the Hoffmans. I'm Michelle Hoffman.
And I'm Brian Hoffman. It is Wednesday. We're about halfway through the week, and we got to check in on that forecast because I'm already making those weekend plans. Julia Quady joins us with a look at the forecast and the roads if you're just heading out those doors. Hey, Julia.
Good morning.
Hey there. Good morning, you guys. So, yeah, that forecast is going to be a spicy one. It's going to still be sizzling for us here in the coastal bend, returning back to those near record high temperatures in the area. And we'll also see a bit of a increase in our heat risk as well, going towards that extreme zone. So that's that level 4 out of 4 coming into play. I'll get into more on that in just a few more moments in terms of our forecast later on. But right now, focusing on our traffic flow here, heading from Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga. All three of those roadways moving pretty well for you this morning with no traffic hiccups. Heading on over towards Flower Bluff, pretty much the same thing. Got nice and easy driving conditions that are moving smoothly on Waldron Road and on Flower Bluff Drive. As you get a little bit closer towards the gate and leaving the gate at NAS Corpus Christi, you're going to be kind of greeted with a mixture of medium to slow speeds. Just make sure you're prepared for that, whether you are leaving or going towards the gate there at the base. And then heading on over towards the JFK Causeway, going to and from the island, you're also looking at pretty easy and smooth driving conditions for you on your Wednesday morning. More details expecting your forecast coming up in the next few minutes.
Well, thank you so much, Julia. We're going to be checking back in with you in just a little bit. But first, some national headlines. Former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder is expected to hold a phone call with House Democrats today to discuss Republican redistricting efforts happening across the country. The call comes as Democrats here in Texas continue their walkout in protest over the state's GOP's highly unusual mid-decade redistricting and gerrymandering efforts. Now, Holder has long supported nonpartisan redistricting efforts. However, in the wake of Texas' decision to redraw the congressional maps, Holder and other Democrats are now considering redrawing maps in blue states to stave off Republican efforts. On Tuesday, the Texas Senate passed the GOP-backed redistricting and gerrymandering bill. The 19-2 approved new congressional maps that could give Republicans up to 5 more U.S. House seats that are currently held by Democrats. But without a quorum in the Texas House, where Democrats remain out of the state, the maps can't advance to the governor's desk. If House Democrats don't return by Friday, the current session will end, and Abbott says a new one will begin immediately.
Back here in your neighborhood, the Barisi Village TERS 6 project cleared another hurdle on Tuesday. City Council voted to approve the project and financial planning. Despite the yes vote, some council members, though, expressed concern over the lack of a firm start date from developer Jeff Blackard. Some council members also asked that Blackard give an in-person update. The Barisi Village project was first pitched in 2012. It would turn the old Faro Valley Country Club into an Italian-style village development with restaurants, shops, housing, a hotel, and golf course. And local construction company JE Construction Services will be in charge of completing renovations in your neighborhood. Some of the places include the Ben Garza Park, Dr. H.J. Williams Memorial Park, TC Ayers Park, and the North Beach Trailhead. City leaders also approved an added amphitheater with paved seating, food truck court, and a vendor space. Construction is said to be completed by September 2026.
A tense briefing inside City Hall. Oak View Group laid out what they call a success story 3 years after taking over the American Bank Center. Revenue is up 23%, profits up 55%, and expenses are down. The venue's economic impact now tops $15 million, with 10,000 more hotel room nights and over 50 local vendors. But not everyone's sold. Councilman Eric Cantu is calling for a full audit after finding out OVG signed a 9-year deal with with Ticketmaster that runs through 2032, even though OVG's contract with the city ends in 2027. Initially, OVG told him the Ticketmaster deal was just for 5 years.
Probably 50.
Expected in December.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Councilwoman, I want to apologize. I thought the Ticketmaster deal was a 5 and 5. There's a lot of contracts, so I misspoke on that one. I wasn't intentionally trying to mislead you. There's probably 50 contracts that we have, and knowing what each one of those terms are off the top of my head, my apologies for that.
All right, thank you so much for keeping up to date on that, Suzanne. Appreciate it. So in Padre Island, right there, actually, mini vacation might be planned, right? But before back to school returns to scare warning into others. A visitor from Austin traveled to Padre Island for the first time, where they were greeted by a local. Joe Kennedy was enjoying time over at the beach when she got pierced by a stingray. The barb got caught on her heel. Kennedy went to the ER where they took x-rays and soaked her foot in hot water to take the venom out. Remember, folks, it's an urban legend. Do not pee on it. She took to social media to give everyone a heads up on what happened. To her surprise, the post gained a lot of attention, especially from locals who shared some suggestions for next time, like the stingray shuffle.
The fish was not meaning to hurt her, but that is the reaction. When they get stepped on, their tail whips up, and that's how their barb sticks up, and then that's how you end up getting cut.
Stay tuned for our 20 minutes of non-stop neighborhood news. For our neighborhood news reporter, Michaela Chavez is going to show us more on stingray season.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Wednesday. We made it to the midway point of our work week here. And with that, we're looking at a return of those near record high temperatures in the forecast for us here in the Coastal Bend. Quickly going over what we experienced yesterday, we saw afternoon high temperature of 100 degrees clocked here at CCIA, so just 1 degree shy of that old record of 101 degrees that was set back in 2009. So that very dangerous heat is back in the forecast for us, and that's not only applied towards our air temperatures, but for our feel-like temperatures as we head towards this afternoon as well. Right now, waking up, though, is going to be the most comfortable we're going to feel across the Coastal Bend, with those temperatures mostly reaching into those upper 70s to lower 80s. 77 degrees here in Corpus Christi, 76 over in Beeville, a little bit warmer over in Rockport, sitting at 79 degrees, and 82 over in the Bluff and NAS Corpus Christi. Right now, looking at our wind speeds, mostly coming in from the southeast. Bit of a calm fashion. Not going to see wind speeds really going over 10 miles an hour right now. We will start to see those begin to pick up, going upwards nearby 15 miles an hour as we head toward this afternoon. Taking a look at our hour-by-hour forecast, we're going to see a mix of some clouds coming into the area throughout the morning before we have some mostly sunny conditions as we head towards around midday and by this afternoon. By midday, we're already going to be having those air temperatures reaching into those lower 90s and reaching in nearby those mid-90s by lunchtime at noon. So things are going to quickly heat up for us throughout the day. But again, those air temperatures isn't necessarily where the danger lies. The danger lies how it feels towards our bodies as it relates towards our feel-like temperatures this afternoon. And already by 1 o'clock, all of us will be sitting well into those triple digits, 108 here in Corpus Christi by the time we reach towards 1 o'clock. So some areas will be seeing their feel-like temperatures over the course of the afternoon reaching nearby 110 degrees. So that's why we'll be seeing also a bit of an increase in our heat risk today. Some inland neighborhoods seeing a couple splotches of purple, denoting that level 4 out of 4, that extreme risk of heat danger coming into the mix. That's only going to worsen ahead for us tomorrow before it starts to get a little bit better with the increase in our rain chances beginning on Friday. That's going to carry on into our weekend on Saturday.
Good morning, I'm Stephanie Molina in Robstown, here at Robstown Early College High School for the first day back to school, so stick around because I'll be talking to the superintendent.
Welcome back, everyone. 6:12 is your time, taking in a live view from our studio cam. Looking at downtown Corpus Christi. Pretty gorgeous out there right now. We're going to be checking in with meteorologist Julie Quaid to find out how gorgeous it's going to be the rest of the day and the week. But first, we got some local news for you. So as we've been covering throughout the week, we were actually live at a school earlier on this week. Many school districts will be going back to school. And today, well, Robstown ISD is up next for their first day of class.
Yes, our neighborhood news reporter Stephanie Molina is live at Robstown Early College High School, speaking with Superintendent Dr. Mark Puig about what is new for students this school year. Good morning, Stephanie.
Morning.
Good morning, Brian and Michelle. Yes, I'm here at Robstown Early College High School. And as you guys can see, I have the beautiful cheer and dance team girls here accompanying us, hyping us up. But I have also a special person here with us, and that's Superintendent Dr. Mark Puig. And if you could tell us, Superintendent, what are you excited about this school year?
A few things. One, I am super excited about our staff. We have hired some very energetic teachers and staff that are ready to come and serve. I think secondly, we're going deeper with our fine arts this year, really at the elementary, building out some mariachi programs and theater programs at the elementary, really giving them that well-rounded experience. And then finally, I think really is going deeper with our CTE work. It is putting us on the map. Our CTE program is second to none, not only in the Coastal Bend, but really in the state.
Yeah, and you know, I have actually talked to some of the students at the CTE program. They're great. You know, a lot of these students are really passionate, hardworking. Yeah. It's always great to talk to the Robstown ISD students. But what is new for the school year as well? Like, what are some things that are going to be different than compared to last year?
I think the most important thing we need to focus on this year, and it's new, is going really, really deep with early childhood literacy. We know that our youngest folks are those that we have to really sell and help them understand the experience of literacy and being in love with learning and loving books. So we're really going deep, and that's new this year.
Yeah, actually, I know that there was also like a little like book vending machine at one of the elementary schools. So I know book literacy is very important here at Robstown ISD. But you know, there's some people maybe watching us right now. You know, they're getting excited, prepping for the first day of back to school. What message do you have maybe for the community that like can lead us to have a great school year?
Well, for the message for the community is really this. We have to lift our school system, and by doing so, we lift our community together. So they are partners, our entire community, in making sure our students have an exceptional, brilliant experience in education here in the city of Robstown. And for the kiddos, I think it's straightforward. You need to show up, work hard, and persevere. And in that process, these kiddos, they have to have joy. So that's really, really one of our big core values here. So.
Yeah, and you know, I appreciate you being here with us because I know you're very busy in the first day of school. I know you like to visit all these districts. So so thank you so much for being here. You know, I am Stephanie Molina in Robstown, and I'm your neighborhood news reporter.
Stephanie, thank you so much. And really quick shout out to Stephanie because this was her first live interview, so she did such a great job. Now, Robstown isn't the only district heading back to school today. Three Rivers ISD, Sinton ISD, Taft ISD, Aransas Pass ISD, Ingleside ISD, Cal Allen ISD, and Flower Bluff ISD all start today. So we want to wish everyone a great first day of school.
Hey there, good morning. Happy Wednesday. We made it to the midway point of our work week with things only expected to heat up forecast-wise for us here in the Coastal Bend as we end our second half of the work week here. Quickly, let's go over what we experienced yesterday, seeing the beginning of those near record high temperatures. Turn back to the forecast. Had a forecast high temperature of 100 degrees reached yesterday here at CCIA, just 1 degree shy of that old record set back over in 2009 of 101 degrees. So, like I said, we're back to that dangerous near record high heat. But of course, this is a reminder, of course, that number is a little scary in terms of how high it is, but our air temperatures isn't where our concern lies when it comes to that dangerous heat. It's more so our feel-like temperatures, and those will continue to range nearby into those triple digits ahead for us later on today as well. Right now, taking a look at our planner, we'll see that we'll have a bit of a mix of some cloud cover early this morning, and then having completely mostly clear and mostly sunny skies as we head towards around midday. That's going to last throughout this afternoon. Temperatures reaching into those mid-80s by 9 o'clock, then already approaching those lower 90s by 11, then well beyond lunchtime, we're all going to be having those air temperatures reaching into those mid to upper 90s and eventually having that afternoon high temperature of 99 degrees here in Corpus Christi. That's our forecast high for today. But again, the danger lies in our feel-like temperatures. That's how it feels to our bodies, and that's what makes it oppressive and dangerous for us here in the Coastal Bend. So across the area by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all of us will be well into those triple digits here in Corpus Christi, reaching to 111 degrees, 110 over in Robstown, 111 as well over in the Bluff. Now, we don't have any heat alerts that are expected to be issued right now at this time. That could change because we're right nearby that cusp of that threshold of having that potentially being necessary. It's all related to whether or not we at least hold that feel like temperature of 110 degrees or more for 2 hours or more to get that heat advisory issued. But either way, that heat's still going to be dangerous, so you still want to make sure you're practicing that heat safety across the coastal bend, reaching at least towards that moderate to major zone of heat danger coming the forecast today and tomorrow. Got some improvements though, a little bit with it dialing back a little bit in terms of that major risk starting to pull back throughout some neighborhoods ahead for us on our Friday, and that's going to be tied towards our rain chances increasing ahead for us for this weekend.
Grocery prices at the store may be stressing everyone out these days, especially with tariffs increasing them. But after the break, I'm going to show you where to get the cheapest groceries around the coastal bend. Welcome back, folks. Well, those grocery prices up and then down all over the place. The tariffs are kind of making some retailers a little confused, so I'm going to make sure you aren't confused as well. We're taking a look at the cheapest prices around the coastal bend as of the retailers' websites as of Wednesday morning. So starting off with the price of eggs, Walmart takes in third place, H-E-B second place, and then Target, for the first time since I've been tracking it, takes a first place spot at $2.79. What about loaves of bread, right? We can never beat that dollar French bread, but we can get super close. Target comes in third place at $1.49, Walmart second place $1.27. H-E-B comes in clutch with a loaf of bread at $1.25. On to some milk though. Let's check out Target third place, H-E-B second place, first place Walmart yet again $2.62. And then let's finish it off with some protein. A pound of ground beef rather. Target increased their price by about $1 since last week, $6.49. H-E-B second place at $4.79, and then cheapest is going to be Walmart. Winner, ground beef dinner at $4.44. As always, if you can find cheaper prices than these guys, stick them in your cart while you can.
Alrighty, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Taking a live look outside now from our first Community Bank Sky Cam atop the USS Lexington, where you can see traffic flows looking pretty good on both the New and Old Harbor bridges. Not looking at much of any issues in terms of your traffic flow at the moment, so that's some good news heading out the door, getting your Wednesday morning started. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of traffic flow maps that we can expect on other roadways throughout the area, so you can plan your morning commute accordingly here. Going on towards the other side of town, looking at the JFK Causeway going to and from the island, also looking at pretty easy driving conditions. Heading on over now to Flower Bluff, a little bit of a mixture of slower speeds that you might see throughout portions of Waldron Road, so you want to keep that in mind if you're heading in that direction. All clear though heading on Flower Bluff Drive, and a little bit of a median speed as you approach and leave the gate at this time from NAS Corpus Christi. And then heading on over towards downtown, all clear on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga. That's it for Traffic Report. With details of your forecast coming up.
When you order seafood at a local restaurant, you expect it to be fresh from the Gulf. But researchers say that's not always the case here in the Coastal Bend. I'm Alexis Scott with how genetic seafood testing is revealing which places are serving up the real deal.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Hey there, good morning, welcome back, and happy Wednesday. Taking a live look outside now from our CCAC Sky Cam over at Snoopy's Pier. We can see a little bit of hints of that sunrise right now beyond the JFK Causeway. A little mix of some cloud cover as well. Still looking at mostly clear skies. That's going to continue as we head towards this afternoon. And what's also going to continue from yesterday is that very dangerous and oppressive heat. We saw near record high temperatures reached yesterday. We can once again anticipate that being the forecast for us today as well. So let's go ahead and get into what else you can expect in your forecast today. At a glance here, we're back, like I said, to those near record high temperatures, at least reaching into those upper 90s by this afternoon. Other areas potentially seeing your afternoon high temperatures reaching into those triple digits. Also, we still will continue with that worsening heat now, reaching towards that extreme heat risk throughout some inland portions of the coastal bend this afternoon. And we'll also still see a chance of seeing a couple stray showers pass on through some portions of coastal bend by this afternoon to early evening with the help of that afternoon sea breeze. Going ahead now and taking a look at our hourly planner here, we'll see that as we start to approach the 10 o'clock hour, still got a couple passing clouds, but again, still mostly sunny conditions in our skies. Temperatures are already approaching those upper 80s to low 90s. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, well into those mid to upper 90s. Temperatures at least reaching towards that range with our wind speeds also picking up, going a little bit faster today, reaching nearby 20 miles an hour throughout the afternoon to early evening. But of course, between that 2 and 6 o'clock hour mix there, we'll see our afternoon high temperature of 99 degrees here in Corpus Christi. But with those near record high temperatures, that's not the true concern in terms of impacts for our bodies and making that heat relatively dangerous. It's those feel-like temperatures that makes things pretty dangerous for us here in the area. So by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all of us in the coastal bend will be reaching into those triple digits for our feel-like temperatures. Corpus Christi going to have a feel-like temperature of 111 around that 2 o'clock hour, as well as Robstown reaching at 110. And just as a reminder, this is nearby that criteria to have cause to potentially have those heat advisories issued. Right now, we don't have that in the forecast for now, but that could change. It all depends on whether or not we see those feel-like temperatures being held at 110 degrees or more for at least 2 hours or more. That's going to drive whether or not we get those heat alerts. But either way, you still want to practice heat safety because that heat still has that dangerous component for us here in the forecast. Going to have that continuation of that major to extreme heat risk in the forecast today and ahead for you tomorrow. Going to have some changes on that front a little bit ahead for us on Friday, starting to see a little bit of a diminishing and shrinking of that major heat risk for inland neighborhoods on Friday. And that's going to be tied towards our rain chances that look to improve with some tropical moisture potentially arriving for us in the coastal bend beginning on Friday and then carrying on over into your Saturday. Rain chances for today are going to still be slim at best, again, with those stray showers during the afternoon. Taking a look at the tropics here, of course, we're still tracking Tropical Storm Erin, still forecasted to become our first hurricane of the 2025 hurricane season, and also maybe potentially becoming our first major hurricane of the season as well. Is forecasted to potentially become a Category 3 as it makes its way past the Caribbean islands here and still has a forecast track right now to go nearby the southeastern U.S. So we'll continue to track that and see what updates come of that system. For impacts for us here at home, we're monitoring what's going on nearby the Northwest Caribbean Sea, forecast to make its way nearby the Bay of Campeche. So this area of low pressure only looking at a bit of a 10% chance or 20% chance of formation over the next 7 days. Regardless of development, we are expecting some tropical moisture to arrive as early as this weekend for us here in the coastal bend, and that's what's going to drive our rain chances beginning on Friday, carrying on over towards our Saturday. So with that, we're expecting some isolated showers and thunderstorms coming in beginning on Friday.
The art of welding takes time to perfect. I'm Stephanie Molina in Robstown to talk to Robstown Early College high school students about why they took time out of their summer vacation to perfect their welding skills.
Welcome back, folks. So as we've been covering throughout the week, many different school districts are going back to school. And today is Robstown ISD's turn. They are up next for their first day of class.
Some exciting stuff. Our neighborhood news reporter Stephanie Molina is live at Robstown Early College High School, highlighting a special group of students who spent their summer in a different way. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Michelle and Brian. Yes, I spoke to some students who spent their summer a bit differently. You know, that's what Robstown ISD students are. They like to work early. They have a good work ethic, and you know, they are passionate. You know, just like these girls we have here who woke up early to be here with us today. But you know, I spoke to some Robstown Early College high school students who are in the welding program, and you know, they just came out here every day to work on their welding skills.
So this is 7018.
This summer, students at Robstown Early College High School were hard at work.
It's gotten way better. I couldn't even weld when I first started.
Dustin spent the last 12 weeks learning how to weld thanks to a partnership with Del Mar College. Every Monday through Friday, they work from 7 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon.
Even though the weld looks good, it has a possibility of still failing. So you might have like the best looking weld, but when you test, you did one thing wrong and you cracked it.
That's Zachary Rodriguez, one of the students who dedicated his summer to welding. He says this helped him figure out his future.
And what helps is our instructors are kind of harder on you on terms of how it's supposed to be. They won't let you just pass to pass.
Through the welding pathway at the high school, students have the possibility of earning a level 1 in intermediate welding, a level 2 advanced welding certificate, and even up to an associate's degree.
Prepared me how to read a blueprint, prepared me how to TIG weld, how to stick weld. It prepared me how to tack. I think it prepared me really good to when I get a real job.
Abigail Rios is taking advantage of the program. Right now, she's working on her level 2 certificate. School officials say the goal is to transform students' lives for the better of their future.
Yes, and if you're a Robson student and you're looking at this information and you're interested in maybe joining the welding program, you can still do that. School officials told me that you can still register for classes. And if you want to find out more about the program, you can look into our christv.com website to find out more information. But I'm sending it back to you guys. I have here the cheer team cheering us on still. So we'll be back.
Alrighty, good morning, happy Wednesday. So heading out the door, you're going to be in for those same warm and muggy conditions, but to be quite honest, it's going to be the most pleasant part of our day in terms of that heat really starting to pick up. As we head towards around lunchtime, things will already be reaching into those 90s. So we'll be also looking at mostly sunny skies by that time frame as well. Well throughout the afternoon, between that 1 and 4 o'clock hour, that's we'll see our hottest temperatures reaching into those upper 90s. Once again, near record high temperatures. Going to have a forecast high temperature of 99 degrees here in Corpus Christi, and we'll still have a chance to see a couple stray showers passing on through some portions of Coastal Bend as relates towards that sea breeze still kicking up some of that shower activity as we look ahead towards the afternoon to early evening hours. Again, nothing to be truly impressed by from these shower opportunities ahead for us potentially today. They will be stray at best, nothing truly significant in terms of rainfall amounts that we can expect from the shower activity. Now, what is going to be a bit better in terms of our rain chances is looking ahead towards your Friday and your Saturday. We'll have a little bit of some tropical moisture set potentially to arrive for us in the Coastal Bend on Friday leading towards your Saturday. So that's going to really drive our rain chances to see some isolated showers, maybe some thunderstorms coming in for us as we look ahead towards your weekend. But right now, still got lots of summertime heat with those temperatures still reaching those near record highs.
From Chris 6, this is 20 minutes of non-stop news.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for our 20 minutes of non-stop news with the Hoffmans. I'm Brian Hoffman.
And I'm Michelle Hoffman. We'll check in with meteorologist Julia Quady in just a bit. But first, a mini vacation before back to school turns into a scare and a warning to others after a run-in with a stingray.
That's right. They can be dangerous out there. Sunrise Neighborhood News reporter Michaela Chavez has a story.
What started off as a peaceful and fun day.
And then suddenly I started feeling like I just felt like something shot into my foot.
Quickly turned into a scare for Joy Kennedy and her family visiting from Austin.
I didn't know what it was, and I was afraid to look down. And when I did, blood was just coming out.
She was pierced by a stingray that got her right here, specifically from the barb found on the tail.
It's sharp and pointed, but then it has serration that goes downward. And whenever this cuts you or pokes you, that those skin cells come off real easily, and it releases the venom.
With blood dripping with every step, she found a lifeguard who bandaged the cut, but the pain was too much.
The sting was more painful than when I got my hip dislocated.
She went to the ER where they took x-rays and soaked her foot in hot water.
What neutralizes it is hot water. So being able to get hot water on it as much as you can bear is what's going to alleviate that pain.
While trying to make light of the unfortunate situation.
They gave me a little floating stingray and they put it in the tub where I was soaking my foot. And my husband got a kick out of that. He thought that was pretty funny.
Joy took to social media to warn others, which quickly got attention, especially from locals who shared their own stories and even some tips.
The stingray shuffle. Shuffling your feet as you're getting in the water.
In the summer, stingrays are found in shallow water. That's where they feed on things like clams, crabs, and shrimp. I spoke with Jace Tunnell from the Heart Research Institute, who says, by the looks of it, it was just an unfortunate accident.
The fish was not meaning to hurt her, but that is a reaction. When they get stepped on, their tail whips up, and that's how their barb sticks up, and then that's how you end up getting cut.
So call it what you want it.
People call it different things. They call it being stung, being pierced, being cut.
As for Joy, she has a different term she likes to use.
It says kissed by a stingray.
After some antibiotics and a tetanus shot, she's doing just fine. In fact, her family's planning on making this an annual trip, minus the stingrays. Jace Tunnell says although stingrays are venomous, they're not deadly for the most part. But if you do get pierced, get to a lifeguard. From there, they'll determine whether extra medical attention is needed. With your neighborhood news in Padre Island, I'm your Sunrise reporter, Michaela Chavez, Chris 6 Sunrise.
Good to know, Michaela. Thank you so much. So whether you're a local or visiting for the first time, it's important to be mindful visiting our beaches. Here's a few tips for your safety. Be aware of your surroundings and pay attention to warning flags. If you see a purple flag, that means there's dangerous marine life nearby. Swim in designated areas near lifeguards, and they can offer immediate help if needed. And if you have pets, keep them away from potential hazards like algae mats or areas where jellyfish and other animals could be.
And before you step out into the water, here's a few other things to look out for. The jellyfish, that's also found in those shallow waters. You'll also want to look out for algae. You'll typically see it more during the summertime because there's more sunlight to help it grow. You also might step on those pesky tar balls. They come from oil spills or natural seepage from the ocean floor. They aren't dangerous, folks, but they are definitely a nuisance. Use baby oil to get rid of that. And now it's time for your neighborhood check-in.
When you order seafood at a local restaurant, you expect it to be fresh from the Gulf. But researchers say that's not always the case here in the Coastal Bend.
Seed Consulting, a food safety technology company, tested shrimp samples for more than 40 restaurants in Corpus Christi. Only 19 were confirmed to have genuine wild-caught Gulf shrimp. Restaurants that did not pass the authenticity test were reported to the Texas Department of State Health Services. Starting September 1st, a new Texas law will require restaurants to clearly label where their shrimp comes from, and you won't be able to call it Gulf or Texas shrimp if it's imported.
I'm Tony Jaramillo, your neighborhood news reporter on the island. Stacy Appling is a Padre Island resident who lost loved ones in the Central Texas flood disaster. She lost 5 family members to the 4th of July tragedy. Now she and her island neighbors are uniting to help her family and other flood victims. What was supposed to be a 4th of July full of fireworks and celebration turned into a nightmare for Stacy Appling. The Central Texas floods claimed the lives of Stacy's nephew Jake, his wife Megan, their 6-year-old daughter, Harley. Megan's parents, Gary and Deanne, also died. Now she's helping her brother, Jake's father. Sadly, he's now dealing with thousands of dollars in funeral expenses. This Saturday, Stacy and her neighbors, Chili Dog, will host a barbecue benefit and raffle. They hope to raise $10,000 for funeral expenses. Anything above that will be donated to the Cajun Navy, a search and rescue group that's still in Kerrville looking for the last 2 missing people. The barbecue benefit and raffle are this coming Saturday, and we have all those details on our website, christv.com. On Padre Island, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Tony Jaramillo, Chris 6 News.
Hey there, good morning, happy Wednesday. We made it to the end of or actually midway point, not the end just quite yet, the midway point of our work week here, the second half coming in at this moment. So we're looking at conditions continue to be on the hotter side, near record high temperatures returning back to the forecast. But right now, go ahead and take a look at our Snoopy's Pier view from our Skycam sponsored by CCAC. We can see a mixture of that sunrise beginning over on the horizon. Got some gorgeous hues of yellow, maybe a little bit pink and orange coming in too, with some mix of some passing clouds that will eventually clear out, leading towards mostly sunny skies as we head towards the later on hours this morning and by this afternoon. But before we go ahead and get into our forecast here at home, let's take a quick update on what's going on with the tropics. We can see we still have Tropical Storm Aaron continue to make its path westward away further from the west coast of Africa, still forecasted to become our first hurricane of the 2025 hurricane season in the Atlantic. That right now has sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, wind gusts going upwards of 60, and potentially it could be forecasted right now with this projection to become not only our first hurricane of the 2025 hurricane season, but maybe our first major hurricane as well, as it is forecasted to at least become a Category 3 with this current track at this moment, maybe making its way towards the southeastern U.S. So it all depends on this current track and how it continues to shape out. It's way too early to make any determinations at this moment, but we can be for sure, is for us here at home, we're not looking at any impacts and concerns with that system. Right now, what we're monitoring is a new wave, a new tropical wave at this point, making its way towards the northwestern portion of the Caribbean Sea and maybe making its way towards the southwestern Gulf as well. That system right now only has a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. So right now, impacts for us here at home really look to just be maybe some tropical moisture reaching us here in the coastal bend by this weekend that will drive our rain chances beginning on Friday into our Saturday. Right now, looking at our planner, though, not much of any rainfall expected throughout most of our neighborhoods, beyond maybe some couple sea breeze showers coming in later on this afternoon. So looking at mostly sunny skies throughout the day, temperatures reaching back up towards those upper 90s during the afternoon, expecting a forecast high temperature of 99 degrees here in Corpus Christi. Feel like temperatures will also be ranging towards those 110s, so that's also going to mean our heat risk is still going to continue to be in that danger zone between that level 3 and 4, with that major to extreme risk that's going to continue to be in the forecast head for us tomorrow, with some improvements starting to come in as we look ahead towards your Friday, also tied towards our rain chances coming in beginning on Friday, leading to more isolated showers and thunderstorms on your Saturday.
Now, 6 things to know before you go.
So former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder is expected to hold a phone call with House Democrats today to discuss Republican redistricting and gerrymandering efforts happening across the country. Call comes as Democrats here in Texas continue their walkout in protest over the state's GOP highly unusual mid-decade redistricting efforts. Holder has long supported nonpartisan redistricting efforts. However, in the wake of Texas' decision to redraw the congressional maps, Holder and other Democrats are now considering redrawing maps in blue states to stave off Republican efforts.
On Tuesday, the Texas Senate passed the GOP-backed redistricting bill. The 19-2 vote approved new congressional maps that could give Republicans 5 more U.S. House seats. But without a quorum in the Texas House, where Democrats remain out of state, the maps can't advance to the governor's desk. If House Democrats don't return by Friday, the current session will end, and Abbott says a new one will begin immediately.
Well, the White House is reviewing exhibits and materials at the Smithsonian Institute. The initiative is in effort to comply with President Trump's directive to celebrate American exceptionalism and remove divisive or partisan narratives, he's saying. The Smithsonian Institute consists of 21 museums and National Zoo. The review is set to focus on public-facing content, the contractual process, and the use of existing materials and collections.
Back here in your neighborhood, the Barisi Village TERS 6 project cleared another hurdle on Tuesday. City Council voted to approve the project and financing plan. Despite the yes vote, though, some council members expressed concern over the lack of a firm start date from developer Jeff Blackard. Some council members also asked that Blackard give an in-person update. The Barisi Village project was first pitched in 2012. It would turn the Old Faro Valley Country Club into an Italian-style village development with restaurants, shops, housing, a hotel, and golf course.
Local construction company JE Construction Services will be in charge of completing renovations in your neighborhood. Some of the places include the Ben Garza Park, Dr. H.J. Williams Memorial Park, T.C. Ayers Park, and the North Beach Trailhead. City leaders also approved an added amphitheater with paved seating, food truck, court, and vendor spaces. Construction is set to be completed by September of 2026.
The city will be hosting a community input session today for the 2026 budget. It will be tonight from 6 to 7 at the Ethel Eyerly Senior Center, and this one is for District 4. Tomorrow there will be another input session for District 5 at the CCPD Police Training Academy, and during these sessions the city manager and district council members will be there to answer any questions you may have. For a complete list of sessions, you can head to our website, christv.com.
Alrighty, good morning. I'm taking a live look outside from our Skycam over top SPID. You can see those roadways are beginning to get a little bit more busy as folks start to get their Wednesday morning started. Now, traffic flow still looks to be moving pretty well in both directions on SPID, even though you may be seeing a couple more of your neighbors on those roadways. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and take a look at those other roadways, taking a look at our traffic flow maps here to see what you can expect on other portions of the Coastal Bend. Right now, heading on Ocean Drive down to SPID and on Saratoga. All 3 of those roadways are moving well for you this morning with no traffic issues or hiccups. Moving now on over towards Flower Bluff. Got a little bit more medium speeds that you'll encounter on both directions heading on Waldron Road that you need to be anticipating right now at this moment. Heading on Flower Bluff Drive for the most part, looking at pretty easy and smooth driving conditions. Heading on over towards the gate at NAS Corpus Christi, a mixture of medium slow speed as you start to leave and approach that gate, but then all clear on JFK Causeway as you head to and from the island right now on your Wednesday morning. That's it for your traffic report. More details on your forecast coming up.
Well, as we've been covering throughout the week, many school districts are going back to school. Well, today, Robstown ISD is up next for their first day of class.
Yeah, so exciting. Our neighborhood news reporter, Stephanie Molina, is live at Robstown Early College High School. speaking to one of those students who are ready to start the school year. Good morning, Stephanie.
Morning.
Good morning, Michelle and Brian. Yes, I have two of the cheer and dance team girls with us, Tiana and Allison. And, you know, they've been here with us the whole morning, cheering us on, hyping up the Robstown ISD, it's their first day back to school. And, you know, I have here Tiana with me. And, Tiana, could you maybe tell me, how do you feel about going back to school? You know, you're a cheerleader, you know, you have football season this year.
I just say that I'm overall excited, especially I'm a senior and I'm cheer captain, and I feel like I'm ready for everyone to come together overall and make memories.
Thank you, so sweet. And you know, these two girls are seniors, and Allison here, how do you feel about being a senior?
I'm so grateful for having my very last of everything, and I'm truly grateful for all my dance team girls and being able to lead them this season as captain, and I'm excited for my last season.
Yes, we have the two captains for each team. And what message maybe do you have for freshmen who are coming in? This is their first day to high school.
To never give up, and it's okay, and make as much memories as possible because it does fly by.
Okay. And then Allison, what is your message to maybe the high school students, the freshmen that are coming in?
Education is a privilege. It's hard to do stuff without education, so take it seriously because it really matters.
Yes, and I appreciate these girls who have been here with me the whole morning. You know, they even taught me a little dance routine. You know, I'm not the best dancer. I cannot dance at all. But they taught me a little cheer, so we're going to be doing that cheer for you guys. So girls, how is it again?
5, 6, 7, 8. Fired up, Pickers, fired up. Fired up, Pickers, fired up. Go Red! Let's go Red!
Thank you, girls, so much. And you know, that's it for me. I'm Stephanie Molina, your neighborhood news reporter, Chris 6 News.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Big shout out to Stephanie Molina. This was her first live interviews today.
And she woke up so early for us, too.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. A lot of enthusiasm and, yeah, very, very good work. Well, Chris 6 News is teamed up with Gulf Coast Humane Society for the Clear the Shelter initiative. That's our favorite segment.
Yeah, and all this week we have featured some of the pets that you can bring home. This morning, we want you to meet Macy. Macy is a 7-year-old terrier mix, so don't let her age fool you, though. Macy is the bestest friend you could ever ask for. And guess what? Macy's adoption fee is waived. Go visit Macy at the Gulf Coast Humane Society. That is at 31 on Cabinets Parkway.
Yes, yes, and you know, a lot of different forever pets over there that you can check out, and even if you just want to come and play with Macy.
And 3118 Cabinets
3118,
Parkway.
that's the one.
I just had a brain fart.
It's okay, it's okay. It is still early in the morning, and as people are just heading out the door, they need to plan for the day. That's why we have Miss Julia Quady, our resident mind reader and forecast teller, right?
Mind reader, I don't know about that.
Forecast, you can do that.
I'm reading mine.
I read your resume wrong, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness, well, things are going to be hot for us in terms of, I'm sure I can read maybe folks' mind not being happy about this forecast.
Hey, there it is.
So maybe I am a mind reader a little bit about the obvious maybe. But we'll still be looking at a lot of heat and near record high temperatures in the forecast today for us here in the coastal bend, reaching back up towards those upper 90s by this afternoon at the very least. Maybe some neighborhoods reaching into those triple digits for their afternoon high temperatures. The high temperatures are also going to range in towards those 110s as well, so it's going to add towards our worsening heat risk and our now extreme heat risk that we'll see throughout some neighborhoods and communities, mostly inland portions of coastal bend. So it's going to be that level 4 out of 4 in terms of the dangerous heat that we're going to be in place here in our region. And also we'll still have a continuous chance of seeing a couple stray showers pass on throughout the afternoon to early evening hours with the help of that sea breeze. So what does this all mean for your dog walking forecast? We'll first introduce our star for this morning. We got Gracie here, and Gracie probably wants to get that dog walk done sooner rather than later, just because that heat is really going to ramp up as we start to approach midday, and by noon things are already going to be feeling pretty uncomfortable as our air temperatures will already be approaching those 90s. So throughout the morning into those 80s, upper 80s by 10 o'clock in the morning, and like I said, 90s by midday, mid 90s by lunchtime during noon. So you probably just want to get that done sooner rather than later to spare yourself and your fur babies to feel a little bit more comfortable heading outdoors to get that walk done. And as we continue and progress throughout the afternoon, things are going to only get going to get more hot for us in the coastal bend, eventually reaching those upper 90s, have a forecast high temperature of 99 degrees here in Corpus Christi. So again, lots of heat and humidity on the way for us in the forecast here. And whether or not we get those heat alerts going to place today or not, that heat still has a dangerous component to it, so that's why we still have that heat risk going between that moderate to major risk there. So at least you're looking at a level 2, level 3, or level 4 of heat danger in the forecast today. That's going to linger ahead for us tomorrow and our Thursday. Only got some improvements coming in as we look ahead towards your Friday, but that heat risk kind of shrinking a little bit more westward for that major risk there. As we look ahead towards your Friday, that's going to be tied towards our rain chances. They'll be improving ahead for us heading towards your weekend. And that's all going to be related to some tropical moisture that could be moving its way into the coastal bend beginning on Friday, leading towards your Saturday. So that's going to give us those chances to see some isolated showers coming in. But right now, it's still hot.
Yep, you read my mind. I wasn't too happy about it. Well, thank you so much,
I'm skeptical.
We appreciate you tuning in, folks. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.